Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Music and Beyond. I'm Ernie Crazy Eyes. Today, I have a very special guest, JC from the Blank Era.
Blank Arrow, yes.
I I don't know whether to call it the Blank Era or just Blank Era. So I'm like, I don't know. The sounds pretty good on it. So
It's Blank Arrow. It's like my drag name or like my WWE heel name. He's like a
oh,
character I've created.
you should go up against Alexa Bliss or Liv Morgan.
I would absolutely get my ass kicked.
It'll
I'm
be
all talk and no physicality. I've never been in a fight in
yeah.
my life. So.
I have, and it hurts. But can you walk us through the creative process behind the EP Rotted? Like,
Yes.
what what were some of the key moments or challenges that shaped up the direction of the music?
Yeah, so Rotted was basically a reflection of everything that I was feeling at the time, which was kind of like waking up every single day and just hating everything about my life to be like super dramatic. I hated all of the pressure that was on me. I hated feeling like I was dumbing myself down to make everybody around me happy. I was just sick of all of it, and I made a joke. I was like, God, I feel like my soul is just rotting away. And I'm like, rotted. Okay, now I have an angle. So that was the concept for like the EP name. And then I just kind of wanted to do songs that sort of exemplified each stage of grief, because I was truly just kind of
Oh,
grieving, like letting go of this old version of myself so that I can allow myself to move forward. But with that comes a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of depression, anxiety, all of the things. So, Rotted is basically just all of the messy emotions that come when you are going through that, which I know is relatable to a lot of people out there with a lot of different situations.
that's crazy because like I don't know, I feel like I connected to each song, but in a different way for different reasons, and I'm like I understand it now. Like you were just expressing yourself in five different ways, which is freaking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wanted all of those sort of things to intertwine. So I didn't want to just do a song about like depression. I wanted it to be like anger mixed with depression, because those all go hand in hand. Like the journey is not linear. So I really wanted to sort of encapsulate that sort of mentality. And I really just wanted the whole thing to feel really raw and gritty and gross and just like a giant vent session, because I personally needed that. So it was
Yeah,
super, super healing and felt really good to just kind of go in there and take whatever mood I was in at the time and turn it into something, that could potentially be a positive when I look back a couple of years from now. So if it's for you, it's for you, but mostly it's for me.
yeah, yeah. But honestly, I feel like with the songs and the lyrics, because I'm a huge lyricist, and like I love it when artists have their lyrics on their Spotify's or
Yeah.
Apple Music's, and I was trying to look for the lyrics for Rotted, and I couldn't find them, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna listen very clearly so I can hear each word, and so I could just like hang on to every word because I love lyrics, and
Yeah, same. Yeah, and
and
funny
oh,
enough, like Spotify takes forever to upload the lyrics. I guess because they have to like sync them up or whatever. I don't know. But on my YouTube channel, I made lyric videos for all five songs, because I too am a lyrics person. And like my favorite part of getting like a new album when I was a kid was buying the CD and like opening up the little booklet and reading along. So I thought that by creating like lyric videos for each song, that kind of was like the 2024 way of bringing that to life. So I've
yeah.
never made a lyric video in my life, but we did it for this record. So check that out.
Hey, have you ever? I'm not sure if Rotted is available as a physical form, but if you
None.
do put
It's
some
all
lyrics,
online right now, just because if I'm being so for real with y'all, I do not have the money to print merch right now. This is
yeah.
like a self-funded thing. Your girl is broke, especially with holidays and all of that going
Oh,
on.
I
So
feel you.
I would absolutely love to create physical copies of it. If that's something that the people want at some point, let me know. And I'm so down. But for now, we just have it all digitally because that's what most people are going to see anyway.
And give us some lyrics in the little booklet that come with the CDs. I would love
That's
that.
all I know how to do. Every time I've ever released a physical copy, there will be lyrics in it because I'm just that
Oh,
bitch.
hell yeah. Why the name Blank Era?
So blank era came while I was in my isolation hermit phase, just lurking in the shadows of social media. I kept seeing all these girls on TikTok being like, I'm in my villain era, I'm in my healing era. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute. I like the idea of being able to switch eras, just kind of willy-nilly depending on like what mood you're in. So in my notes app I had blank era written, and I'm was trying to come up with the word that I wanted to commit to. And I'm like, you know what, maybe blank is just the word, because not only does it feel like symbolic of my own personal like clean slate, but I also really resonated with the idea that you should be allowed to kind of change things up and allow yourself to grow instead of pigeonholing yourself to being one thing forever. So that's where the name came from.
Yeah, and I feel like this whole EP is all about healing, and
Yeah.
it's amazing because I've been doing a lot of that these past 4 years.
Yeah.
Because like I interviewed you in the pandemic, and then I'm happy that I'm here with you today. And I did not know anything that I was going to go through in 2020 and beyond.
Right.
And that's when I truly found myself, and I started loving myself because I'm like, dude, like everybody
Yeah.
loves me, but I hate myself so much.
Yeah. That's honestly on the last time that we talked in 2020, I was like really going through it. I had just ended a relationship that was 10 years long.
Ooh.
I moved out. I was contemplating moving to Nashville just to get away from the environment that I was in, because they always say like you can't heal where you were sick. So that's when I started thinking about moving to Nashville and all this. So it was just kind of like a rough time and a lot of like sitting with myself, self-discovery kind of stuff. And at the time I didn't realize it, but I was just trying to bring back an old version of myself. So, 4 years later, here we are, and I'm realizing, oh, I was never meant to go back to that version of me. It's gone. I need to embrace who I am now and allow myself to shed all these things that make me feel like shit, and allow myself to, move on to something new, whether that means sticking up for myself more, whether that's saying no to things that I don't want to do instead of saying yes because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, just things like that.
I know a lot of people, like, for some reason, music people, they choose Nashville for some reason, like whether it be for recording or for just like living there and stuff. But how has Nashville helped you with all of that?
I I love living in Nashville. It is by far the greatest thing that I've ever done. Being here, like for me, I'm constantly surrounded by people who are in the industry and get it and understand. And everyone's hustling and everyone is so good. So it kind of keeps you inspired to not only continue writing, but to kind of build upon your own craft. So it's been really great surrounding ourselves with people, getting inspired by people you're around, trying on new hats and pushing yourself as an artist. It's just so rewarding and so fulfilling. And then outside of that, there's also really amazing food here, and I love
Oh,
that. So it's a good time. It's, inspiring. It's the whole thing. And this is a city where I get to like make my living doing music, which I
yeah.
cannot say about where I was from. So I'm appreciative of my situation and I love it here. So, yay, Nashville!
Yeah, Nashville. Shout out to the Daddy Mac band. I'm not sure they're still a band, but they were a blues band like back in my early career that I saw here in my area.
Yeah.
And they played amazing music and blues, and I'm just like, Nashville, I miss it.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like everybody thinks that Nashville is just country music, and I mean, there's a lot of that, obviously, but there's
Yeah,
so much rock music here. There's so much jazz and blues, and like just all kinds of different styles of music, which is so fun to feel like you're not just constantly hearing the same thing over and over. You get to kind of dip your feet into different little avenues, and it's awesome.
yeah. I hope to go back there one day. I miss the mountains and the moonshine.
The
But
moonshine.
yeah, I tried it there once. But
They have
just a
lots
little
of free
sip.
tastings around here, which is dangerous.
Yeah. But what were you listening to while maybe, coming up with the idea of Rotted? Like, was there any certain bands that you were connecting with more?
Yeah, I found a lot of influence as far as like bands go in bands like Limp Bizkit because I think that they are so fun and just a great example of a band that doesn't take themselves too seriously. And so I really wanted to explore that side of myself, because if you like, I feel like all my music has always been so serious, and I wanted to do something a little bit more fun and showcase a side of my personality that maybe doesn't necessarily come across through my music normally. So with this, I'm like, I just want to be sarcastic. I want to be stupid. I want to joke around and kind of be goofy. And Limp Bizkit was sort of a huge inspiration for that. But then I was really inspired by, oh God, a lot of pop music. And I know that's a dirty word in rock, but I was so influenced by like Charlie XCX. I was listening to Doja Cat and Kendrick Lamar. Like, I was just trying to pull influence from everywhere, just things that I thought artists were doing that were really cool and unique. I wanted to just like take a little aspect of that and try to bring it into like the rock sphere a little bit. So I definitely pulled from that. And then also there's been a lot of like really great, strong women in rock right now, like Poppy, Mothica, Charlotte Sands, Upsall, Death by Romy, like all these just like great women that are just kind of like the forefront of it. And I'm like, yeah, I think I want to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I found Death by Rami on TikTok and I'm like, holy crap, I'm addicted.
I am obsessed with her. I want to be her friend so bad. I want to tour with her.
Hey, when that
So cool.
happens,
And I
when
think
when
it's
that
cool that she like does all her own production and writing. She does the whole thing herself. And like the
oh
stage
really?
show with like her best friends, it's like girly pop central. I'm so here for it. So sick. And I'm so stoked that you know her because not a lot of people do. And I'm like,
Yeah,
check her out.
yeah, like
Badass.
I love her. I love I'm not sure if you've heard of Sky Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I met her
I'm
actually. I met her here in Nashville
oh
briefly.
you
Yeah,
you
we went to
you
the
met
movies
Sky Daddy?
together.
What?
Yeah.
I would love to get Sky Daddy on the podcast because like the first song I heard from her was Battlefield and I was just like, holy smokes, like I know this is a song against like man and like everything, but she's not wrong. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's two step forwards and three steps back. Like, like that's how life
Amen.
is.
Exactly, 100%. But she's super cool. So I send all of the positive love and vibes and all that stuff to her.
Yeah, and if you guys ever collab if you ever collab with Death by Rami, that'll be a day to remember. Wink, wink.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I talk a lot about wanting to tour with a day to remember or just have them bring me on stage to do if it means a lot to you one time. But honestly, I would love to just sit in a room and write a song with Jeremy McKinnon. He doesn't have to sing on it. He doesn't have to like post about it. I would just love to sit in a room and write with that man because I'm such a big fan and that would be fucking sick. So if you're
Yeah,
listening,
yeah, please hit her up and do a song together. Let's hear it.
I'm speaking it into existence. I feel like if I talk about it long enough, eventually it's gonna happen. So here we are, making it happen.
Well, it's been
2025. We're
well,
coming in hot.
it's been 4 years also. So, I mean, I sent you that video from our last interview, and you were just like, "A day to remember, a day to remember, a day to remember," and I'm just like, "Oh, she must love that band."
I do. It's my favorite band of all time. I could say, like, without question, that A Day to Remember is the sole reason why I am still here creating music and not just like working at Starbucks or a bar or something, which no hate to that. I've absolutely done that. But like they have been my roadmap for, you know, taking the hits and still finding the strength to continue doing what you love and just, you know, hoping that it all works out. So thank you, A Day to Remember. If you
Yeah.
you've inspired at least one girl.
And honestly, when I asked you that question earlier, you had me at Limp Bizkit because I'm the biggest Bizkit fan, and whenever I play Limp Bizkit at the bar or just bringing them up in general, everybody's like, "Man, fuck Limp Bizkit." I'm like, "Oh, actually, there's a song about that. Let me play that for you."
Yeah. It's my go-to karaoke song right now. I kind of alternate between Nookie and Break Stuff as my karaoke song.
Oh,
It's
really?
so much fun to do. And every time a girl goes up there doing Limp Bizkit, people are like, what the fuck? I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. We're all here to have fun.
Honestly, I did, I did roll in once, but I didn't realize how drunk I was. So yeah, it wasn't good.
Rolling, rolling, rolling,
But
rolling.
my to go to karaoke song is definitely "Alcohol and Ass" by Hell Yeah. Because I mean
That's good too.
we're all there for just one reason and one two reasons: alcohol and ass.
That's true. My other go-tos, I used to do "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette all the time, and
Ooh,
I also used to do "Just a Girl" by No Doubt and "Like a Prayer" by Madonna. But now we're
oh,
in Limp
nice.
Bizkit land. I just
Yeah.
love karaoke, so honestly, I'm just down for whatever. Want to do show tunes? Like I'm in. Like,
Next time you go to karaoke, please record yourself doing the biscuit. I'd like to see that.
I will have to make a note of that. I haven't done karaoke in a long time at this point, but I think it's coming back up. I think it's coming back around. So I will have to get evidence.
Please, please. I can't wait. And what was the recording process like for the EP? Did you work with any producers or collaborators who had a significant impact on your final product?
Yeah. So I worked with Kyle Odell, who I've worked with since the very beginning of my musical career. I love his brain and the way it works. And I think that he's like one of the very few people I've been able to trust because I know he's not just trying to get a quick paycheck. He actually cares about writing cool songs and listening to you and your visions. So I absolutely love working with him. And I'm biased, but I think his mixes are the absolute best. But I also got to work with Dusty Waring, who used to be in BT Bam. He did a lot of heavy lifting for helping out with guitars, and he is an absolute genius riff master. So I was super lucky to have him involved. And then I got to work with my friend Brandon Merluccio, who I had worked with in the past, but we got a little bit more involved on this one. And then I got to write with this girl, Barry. Check her out. She's amazing. She helped out on the song Didn't Expect That. And it was my first time writing with a woman, and that was amazing.
Oh,
So
nice.
it was just good vibes and fun all around. Like everyone's just throwing out ideas and just having a good time and just kind of like letting the song dictate what we do instead of like being so much up here. It was one of the more fun experiences I've ever had creating music because it's just like sitting around with the homies and seeing what comes out.
That's amazing. And how was it working with Project Sound?
Project Sound was awesome. Like they helped me make bring this to life so much. Like they just are helping independent artists to be able to fund their projects, which I don't know how many of you have ever tried to pay for recording, mixing, all of that, but it gets very, very expensive. So having a nonprofit like that step up and help me bring my crazy little vision to life is so grateful, so grateful. So cannot thank them enough.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been meaning to go check them out because I'm like, wow, they sound so good. Like with her, like I bet their original stuff or their own stuff sounds like just as good.
Yeah, I mean, they just help multiple different artists out. So they
Oh,
pick
really?
artists. Yeah, they pick producers and artists that they think have something cool going on and help them, fund it so that they can bring it to the masses and help with distribution and all of that. So Lord knows that is helpful.
Yeah. And how has the reaction been towards the EP?
So good. And honestly, it was funny because when I put it out, I was like, I don't care if a single person listens to this because so many people were telling me that it was a bad idea and that nobody cares, this and that. You like you should pick a single and promote that. EPs are dead. You don't want to do that. And I'm like, I'm just so sick of having all of these voices in my ears telling me what I can and can't do. So with this, I just wanted to do whatever the fuck I wanted. If I want to drop the whole thing on with zero notice, I'm going to. And so I did. And it was the least anxious I've ever been about putting music out in the world because I truly just did it to prove to myself that I could do it. And the response has been overwhelming. Like I said, I thought nobody would listen to it. So when I hit 50,000 streams in the first month, I'm like,
Yeah.
wasn't ready for that at all, but thank you to anybody that streamed it or listened to it or sent me a really nice message telling me how you related to it. That has been so overwhelming and like the biggest reminder of why I do this at all. And that's to, help people that don't necessarily always feel seen to, it's important to feel like you're not alone. So I just want to bring something good or feel like I'm putting something positive out there in the world when everything feels like it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, I hope to have at least one person, if they're in a situation that they absolutely hate, find the balls to just say, fuck it, and start over because you only have one life. You might as well do it the way you want. It's scary, but it all works out. So cut and run, bitch.
Yeah, for sure. And I bet you didn't expect that reaction. Eh?
No, not at all. Not at all. I was hoping that it would be good, but I was also at a place where I was like, even if people don't like it, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like the people that get it will get it, and the people that don't will listen to something else. Either way, that's fine with me. And it was such a great point to get to because I feel like for years, like if my numbers weren't good, then I wasn't good. Like I put so much of my value in myself on what other people externally thought of what I was doing. So with this, it was just like I don't care about any of that at all whatsoever. And as luck has it, it came back in like the best way possible. So that's just fact that stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing shit that makes you nervous is always the right move.
Okay. Sometimes you just gotta go all in and bet on yourself.
Yep. There's a really great Lady Gaga quote that I see around recently where she's like, you can have 100 people in a room, and sometimes all you need is one person to believe in you, and sometimes that one person needs to be you. And I'm like, you're on to something. You were on to something with that.
Yeah. I mean, she's not wrong. So, you know,
Yep, Queen Gaga for a reason.
she's amazing.
I love her.
And do you have a favorite track from the EP? And why does it stand out to you?
Oh man, I'm biased because I love the whole thing and I love all of them for different reasons. But I think I would like to shout out Didn't Expect That just because that was the one where I literally was like, I just want to write the dumbest track imaginable. I wanted to
Oh,
be
really?
so left field. Yeah, because I kept seeing people, and it's when Poppy first came out with New Way Out. And everyone was like, this is so safe, blah blah blah. But then prior to that, everyone was like, Poppy's so weird. And then like it just felt like every band that was releasing new music, people just kept talking shit about. And I'm like, bro, you can't win. So you might as well just do whatever you want. So I was like, I want to write a song that feels like how I talk to my friends when I'm just like in my room daydreaming about punching people that have wronged me in the face and in like the
Yeah.
stupidest, goofiest, campiest way possible. So I'm really proud of how that one came out because I just didn't know if I could do it. I remember saying that I wanted to do a song with like almost no singing, and everyone was like, what do you mean? Because I've never done it. So I'm so proud of how that came out. I had so much fun. It was a blast to track. It was a blast to write. So I think I'll
And
check
it's
that one out.
and it's kind of got like a Death by Rami kind of vibe too, like the
Yeah.
way that she makes her music. But I honestly, when I was listening to your EP when it came out, like that's the one song that I was just like, oh, I didn't expect that. Like, let me play that again.
Yep. I was like, the name was very intentional. I was like, it's going to be called Didn't Expect That. And I want everything about it to be something a little unexpected, whether it's like a random meow in the song, an eagle screech, the style of the song in general, just everything about it. I want people to get done listening to it and be like, didn't expect that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that was the joke.
Just like we didn't expect, I think it was like 2 months ago when somebody created Moancore.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, not enough space. But funny enough, I've actually stayed at Lizzie's house on tour before, which was like kind of embarrassing for me.
Oh no.
But it was so funny because in Didn't Expect That, I have the stupid little moan in there. Didn't
Oh
think
really?
anything of it. And then Moancore came out. And I'm like, oh God, I hope they didn't think I was trying to rip them off. I promise I wasn't. It's
Oh
just
no.
great minds think alike, I guess.
Yeah.
More moans in songs, though. I think we should do that.
Hey, fuck it. I mean, people are listening to it when they're out there doing their thing, so
Yeah. And then like the moan is just something like in my real life.
oh my God.
It's something I just do when it's like awkward and quiet. We just sitting around and then somebody will say something that has like an innuendo and I'm like,
Yeah. You,
so
you,
I
you
did it just tracking and Brandon, who I was working with at the time, he was like, we should just leave that in. And I'm like,
yeah.
sure, if there was ever a song, this is the one. So it was
I
so
mean,
stupid, but I love
I
it.
mean, it's called. I didn't expect that, so we
That's what
totally
we
did not.
said. We were like, let's just do it. Like I said, I'm like, should I meow? He's like, yes.
Dude, that's my favorite song of all. That's my favorite song of 2024.
Yes, let's go.
But honestly, like usually when it's quiet and stuff, I'm like, I look around and I'm like,
Oh yeah, I'm like a clown car of just random sounds at all times. But like that's the thing. And something that I'd like to do more in 2025 is like I'm terrible at letting people get to know me behind like the singer because I'm just super fucking guarded at all times. So I made a promise to myself that in 2025 I'm gonna do a better job at like letting it down a little bit and letting people see all of the weird, bizarre, embarrassing shit that is me. So stay
yeah.
tuned for that.
Honestly, I think that's why I'm single because it like I go to the bar at least maybe once a week so that I can go to a karaoke or just to go have a good time. And I wear
Yeah.
the stupidest shirts ever, whether it's like fuck like I have a shirt that says "Who shit in my pants." That
Yeah.
one's good. That one's good. I get a lot of women like that, and they show me their titties for some reason because they think it's funny. Or I have a shirt from one of my favorite bands called the Crown, and it says "Nobody fucks you like I fuck you," and women like that one too for some reason. Or I have a shirt that
Whatever
says
works.
shut the fuck up," and I'm just like, dude, like this is fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I'm,
I'm a big fan of like a goofy graphic t-shirt. Actually, I'm in front of my dresser right now. Hold on. Because I have an example of one right here that I'm like, oh, it's oh maybe I don't. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
yeah. And for everybody listening to on Spotify, this is available on YouTube, and you could watch the whole video there too.
Killer tits.
Oh, I like that.
Had to have it.
Damn.
I'm a weirdo and I like weird things and I try to hide it, but I'm trying not to anymore. We're just gonna let our freak flag fly in 2025.
Yeah, fuck it. Like, I post the weirdest shit ever. Like yesterday I posted oh crap. It was that song by I can't remember, but it was a meme or I don't know. The Hawk Tuah girl said it.
Hot
Yeah,
tour.
yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. By the way, she's from your area, so
Yep.
I
It
bet
feels
you
like
didn't.
everybody's from my area now. They're like, "We're from Nashville," or they're moving to Nashville. They just moved to Nashville, and I'm like, I wouldn't know. I stay locked up in my little hidey hole for the most part. That
Yeah.
gets a little
And
peoply out, and that gives me anxiety.
and can you talk to me about Bird Alive? Because when I first heard it, I'm like, ooh, hip hop. And then it just like boom, like uh, I didn't expect that when I heard the hip hop sound in the beginning, and then once it went into rock, I'm like, dude, that is amazing.
I'm a big hip hop fan. Like I said, I love Kendrick Lamar and I love Doja Cat, and so they've had a big influence on everything that I've been doing. So I wanted to sneak just a little bit of that in there, and if you get it, you get it. But yeah, so that song I wanted to write about self sabotage because the song in general is kind of about like being in a toxic relationship where the person only likes you when you're the worst version of yourself and
Oh
never
yeah,
wants you to be like at your best, because when you're at your best and you recognize your worth, you are harder to control. And sometimes that toxic relationship is with yourself, like it is for me. But it also can apply to any situation. It could be with a family member, a relationship, a friendship, a work situation, whatever, where people like try to keep you down. And it's kind of about that, those rose colored glasses breaking and you being like, oh, wait, you want me to be like this. And then you lean into all these, self sabotaging behaviors. For me, when I found myself like in those situations, I would drink, I would restrict eating, just anything to give me the feeling of having more control, even though those behaviors were also not good for me. So that's what that song's about.
that's crazy. And that's what I was thinking when I was listening to it because I'm like, holy crap, like I do that. Like, I mean, ever since 2020, and I use this as an excuse, I've just been, oh, I'm gonna go buy an 18 pack or an 8 pack of Budweiser and, you know, drink four. And then whenever I run out, I go back and I get some more. And I'm just like, why am I doing this? Is it because of my surroundings or am
Yeah.
I just a heavy alcoholic? But I'm just like, no, it's because what's around me, it just kind of like, I don't want to deal with it. And I just drink.
Yeah, there were definitely times like on a tour where like I'm on a tour and mentally I was just not doing well at all. But I don't want to talk about it. So I'm like, okay, well you have to play the shows. You have to engage with people, and people don't want to meet a sad version of you. They want to meet the you that's like, hey, let's do this. So I'm like, I have to get there. So I would drink the entire tour and just be trash because I felt like it helped me get through what I was, running from, instead of just being honest with people and allowing myself to be human and be like, hey man, I'm fucking struggling right now. I would
Yeah.
always turn to alcohol, and then that's never, alcohol has never helped a situation get better. It truly hasn't. So yeah, I had to step away from that a little bit because it was definitely a pattern that I saw myself falling into, and I never really talked about it until like recently. I played a show and people were like, "You don't have a beer? Want me to get you one?" And I'm like,
No.
"Can't do it, man. Can't do it." I'm trying to be like a better version of myself. If I have a beer, I want it to be because I'm just out being social and I want a beer, not because I feel like I have to have it. Like there's a difference.
What's your to go to?
My go-to drink would be a tequila soda with a little bit of lime. Tequila
Oh, okay,
is
nice.
my absolute poison. I love tequila. I love shots of tequila. I love it mixed with anything. I love tequila. So that's my girl.
And I just want to say that my favorite saddest person in the entire world is Josh Katz from Bat Flower,
Oh wow, yeah, he's awesome.
who also probably resides in Nashville.
I think actually I think that Bad Flower was recording at the studio that I tracked at not that long ago. I didn't see
Oh,
them, but I do think that
yeah.
they were there.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for their new music. Their
It's gonna be
music,
awesome.
their music actually made me realize that I needed some help and I needed to go to therapy. And I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
like, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, whatever gets you there. We're all inspired by different things and everybody's got a different story, so you just got to do what works for you.
And another track that I do want to talk about is "Buried Alive." Can you tell me a little bit about that?
But
Or no, "Dead as
I was
Hell,"
like
"Dead as Hell." I don't
so
know what I know. I was like, we just talked about that, but I was looking up here, but I was reading down there.
totally get I do that all of the time. I'm like dyslexic as shit too, so I'm
I
like
mean, look at my eyes;
forever
they're not,
stumbling over my words and whatnot. So if I'm doing that now, I am so sorry.
look at my eyes; they're not even looking at the right place. Like one's going this way, one's going that way.
Oh, stop it.
Dude, my friend, we were at the bar one time, and he's like, "Hey, I like your blue eyes." I'm like, "Dude, my eyes are brown." He's like, "No, one blue this way, one blue that way."
Oh no. Well, at least you're a good sport because I would cry forever, honestly. I'm a
Honestly,
sensitive soul.
I make fun of myself before anybody else has a chance to, so they can know that I'm comfortable.
That's the thing. Like, if you make fun of yourself and you're good with that, then there's very little that people can say to like shake you from that. So that's a good outlook, honestly.
Yeah, but let's talk about Dead as Hell though.
Dead as hell. So that was another one I had to fight for because I had that song started as just the title. It was fun fact, it was originally going to be called Dead in the Water. Um and then I just joking because dead as hell is something that I just use in my everyday life. And I'm like, you know what? What if I just called it dead as hell? And my producer was like, you can't say that. And so then we kind of worked up like the melody. He's like, okay, but I kind of see the vision though. So one, yay. But dead as hell is sort of like the acceptance phase of the grieving journey where you're just kind of like, you know what? I know that this is not something I want to go back to. And it's about kind of holding yourself accountable to this new way of life. Like this, oh, no, you can't do this to me anymore. You don't get to shake me. You don't get to come back and be like, what happened? Oh my God. Because, dude, there is always a person that hurts you that when you refuse to accept their fake ass apology tries to make it your fault. Like, what do you mean? I said I'm sorry. And I'm like, I don't care. You can be sorry. That is not energy that I'm accepting in my life at this point, okay? Wash your hands, move on. We're dead as hell. Sorry about your luck. So that's
Yeah,
sort
that's
of
cool.
so that's sort of like the ending point of the album. I thought was like a good like cap to it, just being like, okay, we're done here, dead as hell. Put your ass in the grave. I'll see you later.
You've been rotted, bitch.
Rotted as hell. And that was the other thing, like with Rotted, I wanted the artwork to be like it across the chest or whatever on a t-shirt because I was just kind of like, there's something really empowering about going through all of this like turmoil in your life and feeling like you get to wear it as a badge of armor. Like, bro, I've been through the trenches and I'm still standing. So rotted doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. You have to put things in the dirt in order for it to bloom and grow and, all of that. So as cheesy as it sounds, it's kind of cheesy for a reason.
Hey, you have the cheese, I'll bring the chips. Let's go.
Hey! Come on, charcuterie board.
Oh, and who would you like to collaborate with?
Okay, well,
Besides a day to remember, because I know we're
besides
gonna
a
go
day to
there.
remember,
Yeah.
I would love to collab with Death by Romy because I think that would be just sick. And I'm always down to put more girl power out into the world. So very high on my list. Also Upsall, I love a lot and would love to collaborate with her. And then, man, anybody really hit me up. Let's make something cool. I just want to write cool songs.
Yeah, I wish Represent Defined was still a band because I missed him so much.
Yeah.
If I had a beer, I would pour one out for the homies. Yeah. But
R.I.P.
yeah. But their music is great. Go check it out. Just as amazing as Brought It, the new EP
Hey.
is. And now that Brought It is out, what's next? And like, are there any plans touring, or are you working on any new music or videos?
I have many more songs in various stages of development at this point. I thought Rotted was a good like introduction to who Blank Era is and like how we got here of sorts. So now that I feel like I kind of put this old version of me to rest, everything coming after that is much more aligned with this new persona that I'm taking on. And by persona, I really just like mean me. But yeah, so working on more music. I would love to even like branch out and do some collabs, do some covers, or just kind of have fun and see what feels good in the moment. But definitely more music to come. And I would absolutely love to take this bitch on the road, but when it makes sense. I have 5 songs right now. It's not a very long set, so we're working towards it. I just have to be patient, and I trust that cool things will come my way, and I will get back out there because that's where I love. I mean, writing songs and being in the studio is super cool, but like I thrive in a live setting. That's what I love to do. Being able to take these songs and connect with people, in real life as opposed to just
Over
messenger
the
or
internet,
DMs or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, it feels a little impersonal, but being able to like talk in person and really hear people's stories and connect and build friendships and because that's what it's all about. I'm just here to kind of build a community of people who get it. And the best way to do that is by getting out there and talking to people. So it's definitely something very high on my bucket list for next year. So who knows? Stay tuned.
That's amazing. I can't wait. And honestly, because you said that, like, I feel better about this conversation than, like, what I've been doing as in the past with phone interviews, because you can't see the person and
Yeah.
you can't really react to anything. So I feel like maybe this, has been like super good, and I can't wait for the future of music and beyond. And you know, I
Yeah.
can't I can't wait to have you again whenever there's more music, and if I ever see you on tour, like, that'd be
It'll
freaking
happen.
amazing. Yeah.
We'll make sure that it happens. Who knows when, but I have a good feeling it's going to happen.
And I usually end the interview with, of course, the elevator. Who would you like to be stuck in an elevator with? But of course, a day to remember. So
Actually, I'll switch that up.
hold on,
I
hold on, before you do that though. I do want you to, give out a shout out to your a message, more of a message to your listeners and to your fans that have been following the Blank Era.
All right. Well, hi y'all. It's me, Blank Era, and I'm here to tell you that it is okay to blow up your fucking life and start over. If you're scared, good. Do it anyway. I promise you, there is a net under you that you cannot see yet, and your life will only get better. But it cannot get better while you're still keeping all of this bullshit in your life. Let it go. And that's all. Do
That was fucking beautiful. Hell yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's all
man.
I
I'm
got.
over here.
Because that's where I have been. I have been so scared to change my circumstances because I was afraid of upsetting or feeling like I was abandoning everybody around me. And sometimes the move is just to be fucking selfish and prioritize yourself above all else. So
Yeah.
if people want to give you shit, let them talk.
Hey, as selfish as that sounds, like, you just gotta do you sometimes. And
Yeah, selfish isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's that old saying, you can't pour from like an empty cup. So when you're giving to people and you have nothing for yourself, nothing gets done. And you're definitely not happy. So why be miserable?
yeah, hell yeah. And that was a message from the Blank Arrow.
That's
And
me.
yeah, let's go back to the previous question. Elevator. Who do you got?
probably gonna get shit on so hard for this too.
A day
I
to
would
remember, a
love
day to
to be,
remember, a day to remember.
not this time. I would love to be stuck in an elevator with Britney Spears
Oh,
because I just want to talk to her and be like, girl, what's going on? Like, like that woman, I grew up with Britney Spears. She's like a huge influence on like who I am as a performer. Like Britney Spears in the early 2000s, there was not a badder bitch on a stage than Britney. So she is like the bar for performance for me. So I would love to talk to her now and just from like the horse's mouth hear about her entire journey because obviously she's gone through some horrible things over the last decade plus. And I would really like to hear it straight from her mouth, not from a book that she may or may not have written, or social media that she may or may not be involved with. I want to talk to her because I bet there's such an interesting story there. And I bet a lot of cool songs could come out of that. So, Britney
yeah, and
Spears.
I like that, and I like that you mentioned the book because I bought that book. Have you read it?
I have. I listened to the audio.
Yeah, I bought the audio too. I
Yeah.
got it with the free credit from Audible, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this or like like you said, if it was her or
It feels really watered down and censored. And I would love to hear just like the truth from her. I think it would be fascinating. Like, I just think it would be.
yeah, let's make that a podcast. Like you and
Yep.
Brittany talking.
Yeah. Oh God, I love that woman so much. I just want her to be happy. That's all. I don't even have to. I just want her to be happy, and I hope that I hope that she finds that. And even through all of the wild shit she's been through, I hope that at the end of the day she finds peace. And that's all I can say.
Hell yeah. And where can we find you, social media wise?
You can find me on all of the socials at In My Blank Era. That's Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of the things. So please help find me. Check out Rotted on Spotify,
Hell
Apple
yeah.
Music, whatever you listen to. I promise it's there.
Dan, thank you for spending the time with me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you.
Thanks for having me on. This is always so fun. This is the part that I love. Like the thing is out and I don't have to be like shrouded in mystery and secrecy anymore. I get to actually talk about it, which is exciting.
Yeah, no,
So
I love it, and like I love every track from them, and like honestly, you didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that, so I love that song so much.
ooh, it's working then.
I'm gonna have to go back so I can find the other parts that you were talking about because I did not hear that. But
The
babe,
whole thing is just covered in dumb little Easter eggs that people may or may not pick up on, but they're there for me. So when
yeah.
people do like point it out, I'm like, yep, that was intentional. Very intentional.
But I want to thank everybody for listening, and remember that without music, life would be a mistake.